people, it's me Kumana, your money manager. Today I want to share with you how I paid off 340,000 debt in 17 months. I am going to take you through some of the measures that I had to put in place to enable the journey, and I'm going to walk you through the journey itself. First things first, let's start with the measures. There are 5 key things that I did for me to be able to pay off my debt. 5 things that I put in place for me to be able to pay off my debt. The first thing that I did was to downgrade my lifestyle. It takes a lot of guts for you to downgrade your lifestyle, because we do suffer from so many psychological tendencies. We suffer from this tendency known as inconsistency avoidance tendency, and that tendency, it allows us to make measured decisions in our life, more especially if we are moving from something that is perceived to be high, of high status, to something that is perceived to be of low status. But I understood that the only way for me to win was to downgrade my lifestyle. By downgrading my lifestyle, it meant that I was able to cut down my living expenses, because I was moving from this high living expenses to a low living expenses. So that's the first thing that I did, downgrading my life. The second thing that I did was taking advantage of what we call geographical arbitrage. I first understood that I needed money for me to be able to get out of debt. So I went out and I looked for a job. I rejoined the corporate world, and when I looked for a job, I set very clear intentions that I don't want to live in the city. I'd rather go and live in the village, because life is much easier and it's not really too expensive in the village. So I wanted to live kind of like a low life, like where a simple life where a lot of my money is not going to go towards maintaining me or towards covering my monthly living expenses. So taking advantage of geographical arbitrage is the second thing that I did. I moved from Gaborone and I went to live in Mau, and Mau is home village to me. The third thing that I did is I started loving myself more. What do I mean by loving myself more? I started embracing my natural beauty, because before then I was this kind of a girl. I used to spend a lot of money in beauty products, spend a lot of money in your weaves, and then doing a certain hairstyles. I used to keep this hairstyle, pexi hairstyle, and sometimes they'll call it bob cut. Yeah, pexi hairstyle or bob cut. It's quite an expensive hairstyle to maintain, because it needs a lot of maintenance. So I acknowledge that, you know what, I do not have the money anymore to keep up with this kind of a hairstyle or with this kind of life. I embraced my beauty, and that resulted in me doing this, going for this hairstyle, and now this is my signature look. Before then, I never imagined myself rocking this kind of a hairstyle, but now I'm embracing it, I'm loving it, and I'm in love with myself, and I'm learning to love myself every day. The fourth thing that I did was to trim the fat. Trim the fat to me is removing all the clutter. I went and looked around my house. Everything that I did not use, it meant that I did not need. And the thing is, if you have so many things that you own, you are going to incur a lot of cost in maintaining those things. So I got rid of everything that I did not need, and that even went back into my wardrobe, my clothing. I decided that, you know what, there's no point of me in having a lot of clothes that just clutter in my place, and some I cannot even remember the last time I wore them. So I got rid of everything, and now I'm at a place in my life where I can count the clothes that I own. Everything that I own in my household, I can count them. I don't want clutter anymore, because clutter means more cost, more money that you are going to spend to maintain those things. That's number 4. Number 5 for me was budgeting became a non-negotiable part of my money management. Through budgeting, I was able to set very clear intentions in terms of what my money should do for me. It enabled me to have a conversation with my money on a monthly basis to tell it where it should go and where it should not go. And also, it was very important for me, because undertaking a debt repayment journey, you need money, and if you cannot control your expenses, if you cannot control your income, it's going to become excessively difficult for you to pay off your debt. So with all these measures that I put in place, I was able to find some money. I did not go out and do anything extra. I just found the money by putting these measures in place. I was able to cut a lot of expenses, and I was able to get like 1,200 of free money that I dedicated towards my debt. I'm now going to walk you through my debt repayment journey, but I want you to understand one thing. There is literally no secret to paying off debt. You are not going to sit and hope that somebody or something is going to come and is going to wipe off your debts. You need to be willing to put the efforts and to put the necessary work. So for me, it meant finding extra income somewhere, and all those measures enabled me to find extra income in my budget. And that was 1.2, and this is the 1.2 that I used to accelerate my debt elimination journey. Pay extra and you are done. You pay extra, you are going to reduce the number of months that you are remaining with on your debts or on your loans. Paying extra, you are going to reduce your interest expense on your loans. So that's what I did. I just paid extra. Let me show you the steps that I took after implementing those measures, because I made a decision that I'm going to get rid of my debt, and that was 340,000 debt that I wanted to get rid of. And before I did, I set a target for myself, because it's also important for you to have a target so that you can know what you are working towards. So I said in 24 months, I want this 340,000 debt to be out of my life. And guess what happened? I was out of that within 17 months. It took a lot of work, a lot of commitment, and a lot of focus. Let me show you how I did. So this is how my debts looked like when I started my journey, my debt elimination journey in August 2019. The strategy that I used to pay off my debt is the debt snowball strategy. With the debt snowball strategy, you are going to eliminate your debts, starting with the smallest debt to the largest debt. So the first thing that you have to do is to list all your debts. I listed all my debts, and this is how they appeared. I owed my mom, I owed credit card, I had a micro loan, and I had 2 personal loans. After listing all my debts, I had to write the balance. What is the total balance outstanding for each debt? And this is how they looked. Mom, I owed, the balance was 1,200. Credit card, the balance was 2,230 plus 24. Micro loan, the balance was 14,613 plus 75. Personal loan number 1, the balance was 56,888 plus 38. And personal loan number 2, this was the big loan, 264,849 plus 28. This is me listing their balances, and the total balance for all of my debts was 340,081 plus 65. After listing the balances, I had to write down the minimum payment that is required for each debt. So for mom, I just had to settle the 1.5. Credit card, I had to pay it off, because remember, I have spoken to you about the proper use of the credit card. You just need to pay off what you have used totally, completely, all of it. And for micro loan, the minimum payment there was 5,000. Personal loan number 1, the minimum payment was 1,200, and personal loan number 2, the minimum payment was 4,250. So my debts, they required a total of 14,480 pula 24 thebe every month for me to pay. But here is what happened. I had an extra 1,200 that I can apply towards my debt. So in the first month of my journey, I paid off mom, and I paid off my credit card completely closed, and I made sure that I follow through with my credit card issuer to make sure that the account is completely closed, and I was given a letter confirming such. So the same month 1, it meant that I had an extra 1,200 that I applied towards my micro loan. So instead of paying the minimum of 5,000, I paid 6,200. Guess what? This is now me on my debt elimination journey. So it took me 2 months to pay off my micro loan. This is what happened now. It got really very interesting from month number 2, whereby 2 debts were out. So with the 2 debts out, I had 1,500, and I had about 2.2 that I can now take and apply towards debt number 3, which is my micro loan. So instead of paying the 5,000, month number 2, this is how much I paid: 9,930 pula 24 thebe. Where is this 9,930 pula 24 thebe coming from? Let me show you where it's coming from. Is the 1,500 that I used to pay towards mom, is the 2,230 that went towards the credit card debt, and plus the 5,000 plus the extra 1,200 that I managed to release by implementing those measures that I shared with you. This is how interesting it is. Month number 2, 3 debts, all out. Mom is out, credit card is out, micro loan is out. So now from the month number 3, I was dealing with how many debts? 2 debts, my 2 personal loans. And this is now me on the debt snowball journey, and I was extremely motivated. Why was I motivated? Those quick wins that I made kept me motivated, and they kept the momentum going. That is the trick of the debt snowball journey. It works on the psychological effects of seeing quick wins and carrying on the momentum until you have paid off all your debts. So month number 3, this is now the beauty of it. Month number 3, it means that the money that I used to pay here is going towards my personal loan number 1, plus the extra 1,200. That gave me a total of 11,430 pula 24 thebe. Imagine the minimum payment there that is required is what? Is 1,500. But I'm paying how much? I'm paying 11,430 pula 24 thebe. I paid this amount for what? 7 more months. And month number 9, the debt was completely eliminated, and I was celebrating. I remember I used to share this journey with my followers, Facebook. I always showed you every month as I was making this progress. I would show you, this is how much I've paid, this is what I have killed, and all of that. So month number 9, personal loan number 1 was out. So I'm left with what? Just 1 personal loan. This is the beauty of it. This is what happened. So all this money that used to go towards all this debt, mom, credit card, short term, and personal loan number 4, I took all the money and applied it towards personal loan number 1. And the extra 1,200. I didn't say that, okay, now that 4 debts are out, maybe I can redirect the money to something else. No, I remained focused and committed to the goal of eliminating my debt. Which is what you should also do. So I was paying a total of 16,780 pula 24 thebe. This is against a minimum of 4,250. So it meant I was paying close to 11,000 extra. How can you not pay it off? Extra 11,000 extra, that's a lot of money. And I remember in some months I was even paying close to 17,000, where I was getting money here and there. I would just throw it towards my debt. And before I know it, 17 months against the target timeline of 24 months, I was completely out. I remember the celebration that I had when I went out to pay that last payment. This is me killing debt, and this is how I killed my debt, and this is exactly how you can also kill your debt. So the snowball, you can see it. You can see that it requires a lot of commitment. When you look at it, it sounds like it's very theoretical, mathematical, but get into the doing, you will see that it is actually working. A lot of people have paid their debts using this same strategy. So you see, guys, this is exactly how I managed to pay off 340,000 debt in 17 months against a target of 24 months that I had set for myself. And the most liberating thing about paying off debt is this is money that I tied towards paying debt. So now that the money was free, I redirected this money to creating wealth, because this money, my debt, really, this debt that I paid off, for me, it was a burden because it was bad debt. So this is all that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you find this very inspirational and you'll be able maybe to decide and to pay off your debt, and to see that really with focus, determination, commitment and resilience, you can pay off your debts as long as you are committed. No matter how big your debts might be looking right now, everything is possible with commitment. But remember, budgeting becomes a non-negotiable part of your money management once you decide to go this route. This is all that I wanted to share with you guys. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment for me, leave a like, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you in another